This show brought to you by the Entertainment Radio Network and presented in part by Craftsman. Trust in your hands.
Welcome back, everybody. It's Car and Driver Radio. I'm Alan Taylor. Jim Farley joining us now from Ford Motor Company. He is, I don't know what I call him, the $1 million man. I made a joke at him one time saying, how do you know who your friends are when you're the head of marketing for a massive company? Everybody wants a piece of you. But you guys are doing such a good job that when the masses want to sing your praises from the hilltops, like me, you know I own five Fords because I love Ford. The world knows because I talk about my Shelby GT500 Super Snake every weekend on this show. I can't help it because it's my love affair. Cool. But my wife drives a Ford. My daughter drives a Ford. I have a Ford F-350 truck. I mean, we've got Fords kind of running out of our veins. What do they call that? We bleed blue. That's it. How you doing?
I'm having a great time. Today we're here at Laguna introducing the new Boss. You know, some things in life you have to wait 40 years for, and it took us 40 years to reintroduce the Boss and the new. It was really
Has it been 40 years?
It has.
Wow.
And to be honest, to be at Laguna in the morning with the fog rolling off and having Parnelli there and doing a nice little burnout in front of the media corps and talking about the car is like life was right.
That's cool. Well, you know what? Ford doing such a great job. The news of another president from GM stepping down. It's
wow.
God, there's so much bad going on, and you guys. There's a couple of car makers right now that are rising to the top. Alan Mulally did not take that TARP money. God bless him. You moving over from another car company to Ford, which was a shock to the automotive industry. I'm still kind of going, my God. And look where you are now in comparison to where you could be dealing with the fiasco over at the other automaker, which I'll leave out of the picture. But you made the right moves.
Well, to a lot of people, as you said, it was kind of a little bit odd. But, you know, my grandfather was the 380th employee of Ford.
Wow.
He joined in 1914, and took me a little while to get back to Ford. But the fact of the matter is, you know, I wanted to be part of something that was special.
Yeah.
And for all of us as Americans, Ford is really a special company. And we needed to get the mojo back in the product so that people could start identifying with us. We're not interested in making refrigerators. We want to make cars that people are into, really love. It doesn't matter if it's Super Duty or a Fiesta or a Mustang Boss. And I knew that there was a potential at Ford. And when I met Alan and the rest of the engineering
He's talking
team,
about me, everybody. Go ahead.
Alan, my friend Alan.
Oh, Alan Mulally.
No. No, you're my friend.
Okay.
And when I met, but actually you and I,
we go back a long way.
We go, you know, you were there for all the times at that other car company, and, you know, we were trying to add a lot of motion to the brand, but at Ford, it's, you know, it's really authentic, whether it's our European driving dynamics or, you know, the Mustang or the Super Duty or the F-Series brands. And I, you know, just came a time in my life where I said, you know what, this is more important work, and forget about the risk, forget about what it means. As long as my family's behind me, I get to work for an American icon and bring it back. And you know what's so great is the customer's response once we started making product that people really want. And thanks to people like you, Alan, to be honest. We've been able to reconnect with customers for the first time in a long time. And it's really, if you were to walk around Ford right now, everyone's got a little extra step, and everyone wants to do what's right for the customers. It's really fun.
You know, the other brands that are out there have slogans and so on and so forth, hot dogs, apple pie. But to me, the blue that's in Ford is part of the red, white, and blue that is America. And I think that is why people connect with you guys in such a way, and that your president, you know, your CEO, Alan Mulally, didn't take the money, even though I'm sure it must have been incredibly tempting because, yikes, look what was going on. But you know what? Here's a man that truly has vision. He's a visionary. He's a guy, and like yourself, to me, I mean, for you, whatever drove you, I know you're a God-fearing man, and you consider what the man upstairs thinks. And I know you were going through a tough time in your life.
Yeah.
And to make this decision to go from this one giant company to another giant company at that time, when you were on top of the world, at that time, the other company was on top of the world. Ford wasn't so on top of the world. Man, you must have been really, I don't know where you were in your head, but that must have been a lot of praying going on there.
Well, it was, but to be honest, I think all of us have choices.
Yeah.
And that's one of the big choices in my life. And we had a personal tragedy in my family, and I looked at my wife and I said, it's time for us to really think about what this all adds up to.
Yes.
And professional life doesn't last forever. And I just was so fortunate to be able to have a set of skills that I could work with a great team at Ford to kind of get people excited. And the most ironic thing, Alan Mullally always says it to me. He's like, Jim, do you think that'd be a good marketing campaign for us to go down to Washington, D.C. and everyone get mad at us and then notice that we're different and then we can kind of re-engage with customers? He said, if I had ever pitched that to you, do you think you would have said that's a great marketing campaign? But it turned out to be the most interesting part about our turnaround because, frankly, people got off the fence. They started looking at, should I care about GM? Should I care about Ford? People that never really cared. And suddenly, we were coming out with cars like the Taurus Show and the Flex and the new F-Series right about the same time. So when we said we're different, we're going to take our destiny in our own hands, and we're coming out with new product. Immediately, within a month in the showroom, we started to see the response. And it's been a great ride, but frankly, we got a lot more work to do. We have the new Focus coming out in a couple months. We have the new Explorer coming out in the next couple months. So I think it's going to be a pretty interesting year for us.
A lot of the journalists went to the unveiling over on the beach in Southern California, and I was watching the Facebook and all this, and it was like, man, everybody's going nuts over this thing. And that was part of your plan.
Yeah.
You guys are doing this whole new kind of 21st century marketing. Everybody, we're talking to Jim Farley. He's the guy in charge of all things marketing globally now, I understand.
Yes.
For Ford Motor Company. What a regular guy. What a regular guy
Hey,
you are.
we've been hanging out for a long time together.
You haven't changed at all.
You knew me when I was just myself. So, and I'm still myself, thank goodness.
You're a little harder to get access to because the thugs that you go around with, like old Robert Parker here, he's standing in the room with us, everybody. No, I mean, nice people too. And these guys they're good counsel to you.
Yes.
And I'm so proud of the fact that, with my dollars, when I look down at what I voted with my dollars for, it's Ford. And I'm thinking to myself, gosh, I love Chevrolet.
Yeah.
I love Porsche. I love BMW. I always thought I'd buy a BMW M3 when I finally got to that point. No, I bought a Mustang. I still won't change my Mustang for that BMW. I love that thing. I'm married to that car.
I obviously have not done a good enough job.
No, you know what? It's like mine. Our show is sponsored by Carroll Shelby, by Shelby, and everybody knows that because I talk about it all the time. But this car has special meaning to me.
Yeah.
And I got to that point in my life where I bought the car of my dreams. Carol signed it for me.
Cool.
They sponsor my show.
Oh, that's great.
This car will go in the dirt with me. When the time comes, Alan will be sitting in the seat molding on those leather seats under the ground. But anyway, no, I love the car. I love what you guys are doing. I feel a sense of pride as an American to watch Ford Motor Company rise out of the ashes like a phoenix.
Yeah.
And that's what you guys are doing. And yikes, the other guys are having such a tough time.
They are, and but to be honest, if I could take everyone to the Rouge plant, where my grandfather started in with the company and worked in the foundry there in the 30s, and take you to all the places where our engineers work, I think you'd be so inspired by your choice.
Yeah.
Because your choice makes so much possible for all the families at Ford and for our dealers. And as a result of that, we can do even cooler stuff, like the Boss Mustang here at Laguna.
So talk about that for just a second. Just unveiled a new Boss Mustang.
Yeah, it's been pretty neat. It was kind of a skunk works project, like all cool cars, I think. And a couple of us got together and said, we're going to be introducing a new 5-liter. Happens to be a 302 cubic inch displacement. Should we do a Boss? And we really debated it. And Derek Kuzak, the head of global engineering, said, if we can't do it right, we shouldn't do it. So let's put together what the engineering changes would be, and then build a prototype. And then he said, if we go to Laguna and beat the track time of an M3 with the same driver, then we can build the car.
No.
Absolutely. So we came here and did the work, and we included Parnelli and some other great driver partners that we've had over the years, and we decided to go ahead with the product program. And today was the introduction. We have two versions. We have the base, which has 440 horsepower, the normally aspirated 5-liter, but it is a 1G car, lateral 1G. And with the stock Boss, we beat the track record for versus an M3. And then we built a special version of the Boss called the Laguna Seca. And we're going to have a limited version of those. We have that here this weekend as well. It's got a rear seat delete. It's got a bunch of mechanical.
Rear seat delete for those. No rear seat. You don't hear those terms anymore in this business. You know what I mean?
I know.
Leno talks about he got muffler delete back in the 60s for his dad.
Yeah.
And he put glass packs on there.
There you go.
And his dad's going, "What's going on with my car? I'm not being so loud." He's like, I ordered it because he helped order a Ford for his dad. And
Perfect.
I think it was like 64. And I go, yeah, muffler delete, rear seat delete. I haven't heard that.
Oh yeah, no, this is.
I love this.
And in fact, we have
Back to the roots.
We have a quad exhaust, 2 exhausts coming out the side and 2 in the rear, and there's a little plate with just a couple of bolts, and you can get the exhaust to be an open exhaust. So. Not that would be only on a racetrack, but anyways, the fact of the matter is, there are car guys working in the company now. We really want to.
Well, you're one. I know you're a hot rodder.
Absolutely,
Senior hot rod.
I got my 34.5 window and driving into work. And there's so many people like me at Ford, and that's what's exciting to be here at Laguna, is to come out with a product that frankly came from the creative minds of the people at Ford, and I think people are going to like the car. I hope.
Well, I can tell you, just to look at it, I've seen it, and I talked to Parnelli Jones about it. Cool. And we are at Laguna Seca, everybody, today, interviewing Jim Farley from Ford Motor Company, head of marketing. And this car is beautiful. It is race-inspired, and Parnelli Jones smiles from ear to ear and says, "Oh, boy." When a guy like that, who he doesn't have anything to lose, to tell the truth, you know what I mean? It's
Absolutely.
And he just loves this car.
Right.
And so all I can say, I can't wait till I get behind the wheel. But
there you go.
You guys are doing a great job. Thank you so much for what you're doing for the company, and guys like Robert Parker, Alan Mullally, and all this team that I happen to know personally. Cool. You guys that are listening, I mean, these are real people. They are, just regular car guys that also understand the importance of this great brand, Ford Motor Company.
Alan, I have to say, it is such an honor to be on your show.
As
a car guy. No, seriously. This is, you do so much in so many different venues, and to be here at Laguna on your show talking about Ford and Mustang, and also knowing your connection with the company, your Super Snake and Carol, I think it's a really special time for the company. I'm really thankful to be here.
Well, we appreciate it, and I would just suggest that everybody goes out and test drives a Ford of any kind. I think the next car for my wife is going to be I'm thinking one of the new Ford Flexes. I'm thinking that's where it's going.
Cool.
Ford Flex. Cool. I got to show it on Regis and Kelly.
Perfect.
The ultimate dad mobile.
It is.
And then my wife can drive it.
With the EcoBoost engine.
Yeah. Good fuel economy.
Absolutely.
Lots of horsepower.
365.
Comes all-wheel drive.
Check.
I'm doing a good sales job.
I love it. I love it.
It's Jim Farley, everybody, today from Laguna Seca. Ford. Check out the new Boss 302 Mustang. Jim, thank you, my friend. Shake hands. Love you, dude.
Love you.
All right, we're going to take a
Great
break. Appreciate it. It's Car and Driver.